Now, Central Oregon's local alert weather with Eric Oren.
Well, happy Monday, Central Oregon. We're going to start your look at weather off right now with some current conditions in both Bend and Redmond. We're not looking at much by way of wind. Around 5 miles an hour is going to be the case until a little bit later this afternoon when things pick up to the 5 to 10 mile an hour range, maybe even closer to 15. And we'll speak about that in just a little bit. But visibility looking good in both Bend and Redmond as of right now. Let's take a look at some road conditions throughout the area this morning, get you prepared for your commute. We're seeing some freezing temperatures in Madras, of course, Sisters, Lapine, and Lava Butte area. They're also below freezing, but rest of the forecast area on their way to breaking that freezing threshold, as we do have some mild temperatures in store today. There was a bit of limited visibility towards Prineville, but that has cleared up as of right now. And we are certainly going to keep our eyes peeled on the visibility conditions for you this morning. There's not a strong chance of much widespread fog out there, but it certainly isn't impossible. Now here's a look at your workday forecast. In Bend, high around 70 degrees, well above average. Sunrise around 7:10 a.m. and sunset around 7:15. Looking at clear conditions throughout the day today, maybe just a little bit of passing cloud cover, but plenty of sunshine to be had in the forecast today. And by the time you're eating lunch, should be into the 60s. We mentioned that these temperatures are above average. Today and tomorrow is kind of the peak of these temperatures, and by the time we reach Wednesday, we'll be still a little above average, to be sure, but on our way back down to a slightly more average temperature range for this time of year, ahead of some potential moisture that's going to be coming our way at that time frame as well. Now here is your satellite and radar picture. We're looking clear. See this ridge of high pressure still over the region, and it's keeping us nice and clear. We mentioned that the next bit of possible weather isn't until later this week. Thursday and Friday, stronger chance going into the weekend of some possibility for some rain and snow, mostly in the higher elevations, but we'll get there, of course. We're not quite there yet. We're looking clear until then. So let's speak about winds. 5 mile an hour range, as I spoke about, picking up a little bit closer to around 5 o'clock. This is when we see 5 to 15 miles an hour. And winds have changed direction a little bit. And then they're going to stay in about that range overnight. There's going to be a couple pockets of slightly calmer winds, but 5 to 10 miles an hour by the early morning tomorrow. Now, with these conditions being so warm, you're probably planning on spending time outdoors. If you're a sufferer of allergies, just know that it is tree pollen allergy season. It has begun, and it'll be with us here through the rest of the spring. So if you're suffering from some allergies, there's a likelihood that it's from that tree pollen. Now let's speak about temperatures for today. Highs are going to be pretty warm. We're looking at the 60s and 70s. Warmest in Warm Springs at 75 degrees, and then of course in Sun River and Lapine down in 64 and 66 respectively. So that's kind of your range for the day, and as I mentioned, these temperatures are well above average, so do enjoy these clear conditions. Now overnight lows, we're looking at, for the most part, the area not going to be returning to these below freezing conditions, with the exception of Lapine down here you can see at 31 degrees. Everyone else appears to have those above freezing temperatures going into tomorrow. Now your 7-day forecast here, we see these clear conditions, the peak of these temperatures today and tomorrow, and then starting to return to closer to what we would expect for this time of year by the time we reach the end of this week. And that's when we see a chance for some rain, eventually turning to a chance for a mix of rain and snow, and this is mostly going to be up in the higher elevations. That's been a look at your local alert weather.